It essentially didn't believe the evidence given to the tribunal by Bertie Ahern. Bertie Ahern told the tribunal that he'd received some money in late 1993 and 1994 from friends as a result of two collections for him, cash amounts that resulted from dig-outs, and the tribunal didn't believe Mr. Ahern's evidence in that regard, and didn't believe the evidence of the people who said they gave money towards these dig-outs. Total involved was something in the region of £35,000. Didn't accept his evidence that there was a collection for him in 1994 in Manchester, which resulted in him getting £8,000 sterling in cash. It didn't believe him when he said that he was given £30,000 sterling in December 1994 by a Manchester-based businessman called Mahon, ostensibly for investment in a house in Beresford, where Mr. Ahern now lives. The tribunal said that a lodgement made to an account of Mr. Ahern's during this period was $45,000 cash, despite the fact that Mr. Ahern said he never made any dollar lodgements. It also found that other lodgements to his accounts were sterling cash, even though this had been disputed by Mr. Ahern. The tribunal also commented on evidence from Mr. Ahern that it was Mr. Wall that bought his house in Beresford, Mr. Ahern's house in Beresford, and subsequently sold it to Mr. Ahern 2 years later or so. The tribunal said it was at all times beneficially owned by Mr. Ahern, that Mr. Wall bought it in his name, but in fact it was Mr. Ahern's house at all times. Mr. Wall bought the house for about £138,000 in the middle 1990s. The tribunal further found that an account called the BT account, which the tribunal was told by Bertie Ahern and by his colleague Tim Collins, held money for use on St. Luke's, that this in fact was an account that held money for the benefit of Mr. Ahern and Tim Collins. However, the tribunal said that some of the lodgements to these accounts were for reasons other than those suggested by Mr. Ahern, that Mr. Ahern knew the true source of these funds, but it had not disclosed these facts to the tribunal. So for this reason, it couldn't say where the money came from. The reason it was looking into his finances in the first place was because of a contention or suggestion that had been made to the tribunal that a property developer, Owen O'Callaghan, had made payments to Bertie Ahern, corrupt payments to do with the Quarryvale development in the middle 1990s. And the tribunal said that because it hadn't been told where all this money that was going into Bertie Ahern's accounts had come from, it couldn't say one way or the other whether Bertie Ahern had received money from Owen O'Callaghan. It did say that Mr. O'Callaghan had knowingly funded political corruption. The tribunal has made its findings now based on the evidence which was given to the tribunal. So the issue arises as to whether any action could be taken against Mr. Ahern and others arising from the content of the report, and that's something that will have to be examined by the Director of Public Prosecutions and the Revenue Commissioners and other bodies over the coming months.